Hey, we're live. I
Yay,
don't know if we're
live.
going to have any audience right away because this is such a last minute thing, but they'll probably pop in as we go along. I got real inspired today because, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. We've been doing these little sit and chat with, or sit with Jilly things on Sunday. There's a group of us that do a Zoom together
Oh,
and spreads and stuff. And Kristen Louise has been in there, and she, I don't know if you guys know Kristen Louise, right?
no, I
She,
don't.
she did, she used Radiant Wise Spirit, and I've had this big, bugaboo about the Radiant Wise Spirit for a while.
Mhm.
But I saw it again. I thought, oh, I really like that, and I really miss it. So I dragged it out again to have another look at it, and I'm loving it all over again.
It's a great one to
And
fall back in love with.
I figured out a way to approach the problem that I had with it, because the biggest problem I had was over that 6 of Pence card that has the broken string on the scales. But now when I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, it's about, there's Kristen Louise and Mendy. Kristen, I was just saying that your showing of the Radiant Wise Spirit and Jilly's sit in re-inspired me to reapproach this deck and get to love it all over again. And also Mendy is in there, and she's the one that sort of suggested that I do a series of card curmudgeon lives where I pick apart decks. And I'm not accusing either one of you of being curmudgeons, but I thought, who better to do this with than people that are as particular as I am about their likes and dislikes about decks? And if
Yeah.
there's anybody that knows the details and the dirt on details, it's Melissa. So I'm glad she's here because she can fill in if I'm, don't know something about a card or a creator or whatever.
I
But
think I've come across this reputation undeservedly.
Oh, really?
I don't know all the dirt.
No, but you
well,
do notice all the details, like the tiniest detail that we probably have looked at 1,000 times, and then I'll be looking at a deck and you'll be like, oh, did you notice X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, no. Like 3 years I've had the deck and I'm looking at it and I haven't noticed those things.
yeah, you notice more than the rest of us, I think. Hey, Justin. So anyway, I was saying the broken scales thing. Now I'm looking at it like that card is about fairness. And the fairness is questionable anyway, because the 6 of Pence, the guy that's doling out the coins, is doling them out to one person, not both. So is that really fair? So that kind of works with the broken strings on the scale for me. But I would say anybody that picks apart all the tiniest little details and symbols in cards when they do readings, if they're first learning, I probably wouldn't shove that deck at them just because that's a symbol that's not in the other RWS decks, because it's a misprint, those broken strings. It's not intended by Pixie. So I had trouble with it. Now I'm okay with it because I can look at it in a different light. So yay, I love it again.
Robin, have you considered maybe just penciling those little strings in with like a fine point Sharpie or something?
I have.
Make it complete?
I have. But I'm afraid of using a permanent mark. I don't know if you do it and you screw up, can you get it off right away, or is it instantly permanent?
On the Radiant Wise Spirit, you ought to be able to wipe it off with a little bit of lightly, like a paper towel with a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it. The isopropyl alcohol is the solvent for a lot of permanent inks. And it should wipe off.
Hand sanitizer also.
Oh yeah, because
See,
that's
perfect example. Melissa knows.
I know everything. I was just false modesty earlier.
So yeah, I'm just sort of afraid. I'm so particular about that line and filling it in that my hand is going to shake at the last minute and fuck it up. So I haven't, but yeah, I'm considering that. But anyway, let's look at the deck. Oh, I got my deck today. And this is another wacky thing. We've been having packages going missing in our building from Amazon and elsewhere because these idiot Amazon people, they get inside the building and then they just leave the packages in the, area by the mailboxes on the floor. And generally speaking, I think my fellow tenants are pretty honest, but I think somebody's getting in the building. Maybe they caught onto the code or something and they've been stealing stuff. So luckily Amazon will replace without any issues. So I ordered this last week and it went missing. I reordered it and it arrived today. And I also have a surprise walkthrough later because I got the Smith Tiny Tarot from Thailand that Simon showed last week. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised it came really fast because it cost a fortune for the shipping. It was like, I think the deck was about 40 and the shipping was like 38. And I thought, damn, that's a lot of money. I hope it comes quick. I've stopped ordering decks from abroad because I just can't deal with the anxiety over waiting months and months for decks to show up. And I don't do Kickstarters either for the same reason. I just can't handle it. But anyway, so let's look at the mini. And first thing I want to look, and the regular I get. Well, all three, but first let's look at the boxes. The thing I notice about the mini box, I mean, I really love the lift-off box on the mini. I think I like it better than the lift-top box on the full size, although that's nice too. But I wonder what you guys' opinions are about the two versions of the boxes.
Well, this little mini box is impossible to open, really, if you don't have the actual cards in it to give it a little heft.
Yeah,
they should have a thumb index or something.
That would be nice. It takes a good second. When it comes to the two Radiant Wise Spirit boxes, I should probably put Magicians out. I do tend to prefer the liftoff design here. Whenever I grab this box, I tend to grab the top and it just falls right out. So they've just dropped the entire thing.
I love this little top box, but it's slippery. It just doesn't, it's not snug enough. It just like,
The friction coefficient is much decreased.
Yeah. So in that, and they're both nice and stiff and heavy. I love a good hard box.
I also rarely store my decks standing up like this. I always have them laying down. So to me, the littler box just works better for me in general, because if I laid this out, if I laid this on my shelf, I would want it to be with the title out. And then I would run into the problem of just grabbing the lid.
That's a good point. Practical issues.
Yeah.
Also, I notice, I mean, I actually love the linen feel of this little mini box. I did notice it has a little bit of a sheen gloss to it, like kind of an egg wash. On pastry or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
And whereas the larger one is like a really soft, matte kind of finish. So, I mean, they both have their nice feel to them, I think. But I kind of love this little one. But I agree with you about the, it kind of needs a little thumb index to get it open. I have the cards in there now, so the weight kind of helps the bottom drop out a little bit easier.
Justin Michael says a tin would have been nice. Of course I had to make a tin.
You made a mini tin?
Yeah, not a mini tin. But
I was like, you are literally make playing cards should hire you to be their spokesperson for
Yeah.
the amount of tins and just in general things that you have gotten from them.
So it's a little ridiculous, that's for sure. I am the Tin Queen.
But you made the tin for with the design for the Dirty Pam, right?
Yeah, so I took
Are you storing your Dirty Pam in it, or your Radiant Wise Spirit in the tin?
well, funnily enough, I actually made a deck where I replaced all of the font with Pamela Coleman Smith's calligraphy, and I was storing it in the tin. But I got it on Make Playing Cards linen cardstock, and I wasn't terribly fond of the new linen cardstock, so I got rid of that deck. But I kept the tin, and currently it tells me my trimmed version of the Dirty Pam.
Oh, I was kind of hoping you'd hold up a sample of the one that you had custom made.
I actually had you in mind when I custom made it. That card that you're talking about, the Six of Pentacles, the broken line, I photoshopped back in the line, and I replaced his missing boot. So he has 2 legs in that card instead of the 1.
Oh. Did you did you make it bordered or unbordered?
Bordered.
Okay. And white borders?
Yeah, white borders.
Okay, that's another issue I'll bring up in a minute, but let's go next inside the box to the book. No, I'm disappointed in the little white book for the little one, because I actually loved the book in the big one, because it's by Sasha Graham. And I loved her writing and her approach so much to the interpretations that I went out and bought her Llewellyn's Complete Guide to RWS book. And I'm reading that now on my Kindle and enjoying that. But this little one, I think it might just be pulled from Arthur Waite's.
Yeah, this one is a much better little guide, I think. I mean, it's super thick, and there's just a lot of information about each of the cards.
Yeah.
And the little one is literally like 2 or 3 keywords for each card. Like, it's not much.
I don't think they had room in the box to do a mini version of that book, but I mean, this is just nasty. I mean, it's like, I don't even know. It's probably just from Arthur Waite's Key to the Tarot or something. It just is not almost nothing in there, really. It's just in multiple languages. It's worthless, really. But yeah, I really like. Do you guys have any books by Sasha Graham?
No, I haven't really kind of gotten into her writings. I stick mostly with Mary Kay Greer and Rachel Pollack, and someone I'm forgetting at the moment, but will almost certainly come to me. Oh, Benabel. Ther.
I like Rachel. I have Benabel, but I haven't gotten all the way through that book. It's pretty big, the holistic one. And I don't have Mary Greer yet. Do you collect or read the books, Brant, or you avoid books?
I don't think it's that I avoid them necessarily, but I don't know. There are things about my collecting that don't really make sense even to me. Like, I, for some reason, avoided buying the Centennial until this week. So I got the Centennial like yesterday. And there was no reason why. I always like pictures and stuff when I see it. I just never got it. And I'm the same with the books.
Did you get the regular size Centennial?
Yeah, he got the regular size Centennial.
He froze up. Whoop. Yeah.
Oh, I did? Yeah, no, I just got the regular one.
I can't remember. Is there a bordered and an unbordered in the Centennial? Oh, well, definitely you got the bordered, right?
Of course, yes.
I have the, I think it's the bordered Centennial regular size and the one in the tin. And I noticed, I think there was a little difference in the card stock. I think one was a little. I think the larger one was a little sharper on the edges than the one in the tin.
Yeah,
But
I had the one in the tin, but I have learned that I'm not really a like tiny deck person. Like I'm not gonna. I wouldn't have used it. And to be totally fair, I only got the mini Radiant Wise Spirit because they added borders, and I wanted to see it with borders.
but you have the Dirty Pam, right? Isn't it? Is it the same or is it not the same?
It's not.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
Tell me the differences, you guys, because I don't have the Dirty Pam.
Well, Brant, do you want to talk about that?
They have. So the thing is, I think that the images are probably the same, except that like it has been kind of cropped in the mini, so like you can tell on the sun. Do you see how you kind of lose some of the rays and like almost half of the sun is missing?
Mm-hmm.
And then the same at the bottom. You can see these little mountains in the background. You literally can only barely see at the top, just like the tiniest little bit of where that was. But like, to me,
oh, sorry,
it's not so big like it's not so drastic of a change that I'm like, oh, I don't want it. Like I feel like you still have the spirit of the card.
Actually, I see something on the Dirty Pam. Maybe I'll buy your Dirty Pam, Melissa, because I see something I like that's not on the mini, which is the color in the label at the bottom.
Yes,
I don't like this dark white on the mini for the label. I like that kind of buttered toast color on the Dirty Pam.
Yeah, I think that it looked like the black outline is, I mean, obviously it is missing, but I feel like it makes the card look a little less finished and less polished. Like I feel like a little black line would be nice.
Is there an outline on the Dirty Pam?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wonder why they didn't do that. It's kind of weird.
Well, if they had put a line around it, they would have had to have done something with the title space at the bottom, and they would have had to probably have changed the aspect ratio or cropped something in even further. And I think overall you would have just lost some art that didn't need to be lost. To keep the card this size, and they would have had to have kept this size for printing purposes. You know, the machines only do so many things.
I don't generally have issues with borders, but I think maybe that's the problem I have with the border on this one, that outline is missing, so it seems like too white or bleached out or something on the edges.
Yeah.
And I was suggesting in a text earlier to Brant, I think that as much as I miss that buttered toast, I kind of wish maybe instead of white, the borders had been that color all around.
That could have been very pretty, yeah.
I will say the borders on the Dirty Pam seem to be more consistent and also consistently smaller than almost all of my other RWS decks.
Yes, I would agree.
It's not like super obtrusive.
Well, it doesn't take much to sort of rein in the image. Without it, it kind of bleeds into the white, I think. But with that, even with a pin line, it probably constrains the image a little bit better.
Yeah. Just a little bit of definition.
Yeah. So the next thing is the line art on this, which I don't know about the little one because I haven't lived with it that long. But the big one is like somebody took a Sharpie and it's like really fat, clunky, chunky lines on the deck. I don't know if it's as noticeable on the mini or not.
Well, the fat, clunky, chunky lines of the Radiant Y Spirit, of the Dirty Pam. I mean, they're all the same line art. That is from Pam B. The Pam B line art is very thick and chunky. So it's not like they just sat and redrew it like that. That is the Pam B line art.
Is there another deck that uses the Pam B line? Or is these the only ones?
No, Low Scarabeo. Okay, the guy who owns Low Scarabeo is dead on. Oh, duh, that one.
The newest version of this box is a Pam B.
Yeah. So
the standard coloration, though, it's not.
It's actually a pretty good B facsimile for sure.
Yeah, I really like it.
So the guy who owns Low Scarabeo, he is very confident that the Pam B is actually the original 1909 deck, which is why he is putting this deck in the original 1909 box that'll be coming out shortly. But he just loves this deck. He thinks it's the original one. He's gravely mistaken. But because of that, a lot of Low Scarabeo's RWS offerings are based off of Pam B. Let me see if I can't. So you see how that Fool's face is kind of squished in both of these?
You mean narrow?
I mean, like if you compared it to a Pam A Fool, which I don't have in front of me at all. I know, I'm terrible. Brant could turn around and get one right now if he wanted to and help out. All my decks are upstairs. Wait, do I?
Yeah. I guess I could just grab a yellow box.
So the yellow boxes are based off of Pam A, and the Fool's face is a lot more classically proportioned. Here, his face is literally like kind of squished in the proportions. So I'm really terrible at figuring out the directionality. Do you see the?
Oh wait, Melissa, I just had an idea. You hold your Fool up really close, and I'll hold my Fool up really close, and then it'll be a big one of each.
Look at you thinking with your head.
So I have that Pam A. Not actually a Pam A. I don't want anyone like breaking into my house or anything, but.
Right? Do you see like how the actual face is very different?
It's short.
It looks like Melissa's is more scrawny than the other guy.
Yeah.
Well,
this looks like a guy that goes to the gym, and that looks like a guy that plays Xbox.
One of the things Low Scarabeo did with these decks is they did scooch in the aspect ratio a little bit, because the way they make their cards is actually a little bit skinnier than a standard US Games card dimension. So they did scooch things in a little bit, so the Fool will be a little bit thinner. Let me try to not get all my decks confused, because I've got like 7 sitting out in front of me right now. Let me find something with a circle on it. Here we go. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. You see how that wheel is not a perfect circle? It's a little bit egg-shaped.
Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about that in your walkthrough. Yeah.
So it just slightly popped in a little bit. Not that much. It could have been a lot worse, but that means like all the people in this will look a little bit slimmer. You notice.
I'm looking at the Radiant Ys, both the regular and the mini, and that Fool's got really chunky legs.
Yeah, I think that in the Radiant Y Spirit, the full-size one, I think that the Fool's, like, everything about him is slightly chunkier, even more than that, because the card is wider.
Yeah.
Too. So they not only did they sort of like stretch it out to fill the whole card, but they also had to stretch it an extra amount to like compensate for the dimensions.
So they took this art and they only photoshopped this. It's not like they, went and made more borders or anything, and they just stretched it out and cropped around a lot of things on the Radiant Y Spirit to form that.
Yeah,
so,
I'm looking at the regular size and the mini, and there's more cliffs and mountains at the bottom of the regular. They cropped it off on the mini. The bottom's missing.
Yeah, the mini's cropped even further in than any of the other decks. You can also tell on like the Dirty Pam, if you look at the bottom of that cliff, do you see how that pattern repeats? Right? That it doesn't actually happen on the Pam B or the Pam A. This is something that they actually photoshopped and just stretched this bottom bit out to help make up that aspect ratio bit, so that they wouldn't have to like overly skew left to right. So you will see it on a few places where they've like carefully stretched an area of a card.
Mm-hmm. Well, how do you feel about the card stock and finish?
Are between the mini and the Dirty Pam?
Well, all three. Let me go first. I actually love the glossy cards. I know most people hate them. I love them, and they kind of remind me of like Russian enamel art or something.
I can see that.
I mean, it's sort of like the cards are kind of heavy, but they're so glossy. It's kind of like glorious. And I actually love these without borders. And they also have a kind of a, I hate to use the word greasy. I said it's like comfort food or something. They have a kind of an oily, buttery, greasy look to them with that super gloss and a kind of a yellow cast. I think with the white borders, I'm not sure if the color changes from the regular to the mini, but minis seem a little bit less yellow or a little more pale, maybe because they bleed into that white border, and it gives the false impression that the color has shifted on it a little bit.
I think it has to do with the gloss.
Yeah.
Just like anytime you varnish a painting or add any sort of coating to, I'm thinking of like acrylic painting because that's what I work with. But when you add a gloss kind of finish or layer on it, it always makes the colors look a little bit more bold, a little bit more pointed, a little bit more like on the nose, kind of saturated. And I think that that's sort of what is happening with this versus this. I think if this were matte, it would look like the original.
Okay.
I agree with you somewhat. I can see when I'm looking at my Radiant Y Spirit and my Dirty Pam that the gloss on the Radiant Y Spirit is kind of just making things appear slightly crisper, slightly deeper. But when it comes to the little mini, whenever you're shrinking down an image, it's going to make the colors look darker and deeper because you're just making it all in a smaller place. And I can absolutely tell that Los Scarabeo did a lightening notch or two to the mini to kind of compensate for that.
I shouldn't keep comparing this to toast, but I'm looking at the two of them and I'm thinking the regular size is like buttered toast versus the mini, which is like dry toast to me. I'll take the butter. Butter's always better. Now some little details on the cards. Well, I already told you about the 6 of pence with the broken string. Another one I noticed that changed is a card I always identify with is the 3 of wands. If you look at pull out the 3 of wands card and look at the guy's feet. In every other deck I've seen, it looks like he's wearing shoes or slippers. In this one, he looks barefoot.
And it looks like one of the feet is like facing backwards.
Yeah, yeah.
One on the right. But
they colored it in a way that it looks barefoot. Also, I believe that in all the other decks, the water is yellow or orange, like a desert. And in this one, it's blue. So, I mean, they really made a drastic shift on that card. Because we looked at it in Jen's play date a few weeks ago. And I noted, because it's my favorite card, that it almost looked like a mirage or a desert or something out there. It's like yellow Now, which one is that?
This is the Pam B.
So that's
you
yellow, right?
Orange water, and he's got red
Yeah.
feet. Let me see. I've got Los Scarabaeo's Pam A.
Wait, is the Dirty Pam orange or blue?
Blue.
Blue, yeah.
The art on the Dirty Pam Radiant Y Spirit and the Radiant Y Spirit Mini is the same. They didn't change anything that I can tell other than aspect ratio, a little bit of lightning, etc.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually tuned into all the differences between the A's and the B's and and aspect ratio and all that stuff. I mean, there are some things I'm real persnickety about, but those haven't quite captured me yet.
That's the Los Scarabaeo Pam A, and again, it's got that orange water and kind of like that burnt orange feet, I guess. I can absolutely see where it would look like shoes.
And also that one's got a label at the top.
Yeah, so in their first version of the Wheat Sheaf box, it had these classic Los Scarabaeo multilingual titles at the top and bottom, and it was based off of Pam A. Then they switched to the Dirty Pam, and then they went to the historic Pam B that's kind of lightly photoshopped.
What do you think, Brad? Do you like the labels on top and bottom or just the bottom?
I would rather it just be on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what the thought behind it was, and so I can appreciate that. But, I mean, ultimately, it's not my favorite.
I gotta say, I really appreciate no copyrights on these decks. And in fact, I've gotten to the point where I don't even want to buy US Games decks anymore because of the copyrights, which is kind of sad. Mm-hmm. But I've been kind of steering clear of them. I don't know.
I found out a really weird fact about the copyrights the other day. Yeah, so I was reading a lawsuit case between a lady who was suing University Books and Lyle Stewart over her I Ching cards. And I guess US Games had also published it. And in that court case, it mentioned something along the lines of how they had to put a copyright on it, US Games did, because they were importing more than 1,500 copies from Switzerland, the printer at the time, AGM. So I guess when US Games kind of ratcheted up their orders of the RWS from something below 1,500 to 1,500 plus in the later 70s, they had to put on the copyright for legal reasons. The more you know.
Oh, is that all going to change in a couple of years too? I think, aren't we at that turn point year where the copyrights no longer they no longer hold it or something?
The copyright is kind of dumb. Pamela Coleman Smith never held rights to this deck ever. She was a contracted artist and never had any proceeds from it, never owned a piece of it, none of that. That was all Waite. So the copyright should have been Waite's death plus 70 years. But this is a highly marketable thing for US Games. I would argue it too, take it to court and all that other stuff. So they actually started the long game of rehabilitating Pamela Coleman Smith, promoting her on these decks as an equal creator to kind of plant that idea. And then ultimately, when it got about time for the copyright to be argued about 65 years after Waite's death, they had Pamela Coleman Smith established as a co-creator, and the copyright extended to Pamela Coleman Smith's death date, which was later than A.E. Waite's, plus 70 years. And that ended this year, basically.
Do you have, when in your studies and your research, have you found anything definitive about whether Pixie actually colored the original deck or just submitted the black line work and somebody else added colors? Because I've heard both.
Mm-hmm. I have kind of heard both as well. My personal thought is that Pamela Coleman Smith is a great colorist, and I mean, she very well may have colored them, but 8U8 was also very particular with colors and certain things. Like, for instance, he made a big deal about the sun and the fool being white. It has to be white. No ifs, ands, or buts. And he might have absolutely, like, gone through and colored them himself. I can absolutely see that case.
Did he have any experience with, like, as an artist or anything? I don't know about.
No.
No.
He's kind of a bit of a dunderhead, really.
Yeah.
Not to cast aspersions. He was kind of this, like, drear clerk, basically, like, not really talented in much. It was kind of one of those, like, really pedantic guys in the Order of the Golden Dawn. So he would have been, like, very particular about, like, having things done a very correct way, and gotten, like, a little bit, like, type A about that.
I'm sorry.
But he doesn't seem to have been, like, terribly creative. Like, he could direct you and say, like, no, this is what I want, but he couldn't really make it himself.
Okay. I feel like I'm ignoring the chatters, so I just want to jump in and acknowledge them a little bit. There's somebody new here for the first time, Lady Kepera Ankh. Welcome. I don't know who you are, but welcome. Mendy asks, Melissa, what are your thoughts on the AGM tarot of AE8?
I think you and I, like, once thought a little bit about this, Robin. Like, I don't like it. I think it's, like, way too bright yellow. The blacks are, like, kind of blown out. It's not my favorite.
Yeah. I think I liked it because of the crackleback and that it was pretty sharp and clear in the line work. But I've kind of moved away from it a bit in favor of some of these others, like the Blushing Fool and well, I still love the RWS 2.0, but nobody else seems to. Let me see what else they're chatting about in here. They like the color saturation and the Radiant Wise. Also, I think the Radiant Wise Spirit has a moodiness to it. It's like it got a real kind of sense of melancholy that the original coloring doesn't have, you know, and maybe that appeals to a lot of people with depressive issues. I don't know. But I really enjoy it. Justin likes gloss, but it's got to be good quality. I don't know if he considers this good quality or not. Hello, Zaneb. I don't know who that is. Another new person. Hello. Justin says, if I ever form a tarot think tank, Melissa's going to be the boss. Dory's Intuitive Tarot. Hello. Justin says his face is squished more. It's more obvious on the LS white box. Okay. Pam A is just bigger bone, says Kristen. Dory prefers Pam A. Now I'm just going backwards, so I don't know what these references are. Mendy says, so unprofessional, Melissa. I'm disappointed, but I don't know what she was talking about.
No, because she didn't have a Pam A.
Oh.
I didn't have one to snap out like that.
Yeah.
I should always have the study deck on me at all times.
I mean, over 100 decks, and none of them are near you.
Yeah, I did actually hear that joke about Aleister Crowley referring to weight as dead weight.
Wow.
He was a little dreary. Kind of a bit stodgy.
Okay, I'm not going back all the way. I just wanted to see. What? I'm the same, Robin. I used to like it a lot, but just pulled it out and thought, I don't need this one anymore. I guess she's talking about the AE weight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know something I wanted to mention. The dirt filter.
Yeah.
If you look at the 3 and 7 of Wands in particular, it's probably on other cards too, but the 3 and 7 of Wands, if you look carefully, it's not going to show on the camera probably. There are 2 little dots that are positioned in the exact same spot on both cards. That's like whoever created this deck put the same dirt filter over probably every damn card, but in some of the cards anyway.
There are some different ones, actually. I know that when I was kind of doing like a Photoshop crazy whatever of them, I think I counted like 4 different filters, but it was a rough estimation. But I did notice like 4 different like families of filter, basically.
Yeah, I think that's so the issue I have with some of the decks that they tend to sort of antique. You know, if you're going to put a dirt filter over it, like, you know, shake it up, move it around, flip it over. Don't put it in the exact same spot. I have one deck, I can't remember which one it is, but there's like sort of like thumb smudge prints on the corners that's the same on every damn card. And there's no way that somebody would get the exact same thumbprint on every card in the same spot. Mm-hmm. So if you want to make it dirty, I don't mind putting a faux dirty effect on it, but do a good job of it.
Isn't there a deck that's like your grandma's old tarot deck or something like that? It has coffee stains and all sorts of
worst. It's the worst.
Yeah, like it's one of those where it's got like
here is a deck that's in really shitty, deplorable condition, and I guess they thought maybe people would be interested in that, but it's like I would find it hard to read with it because it's like the like dirt and decay on it are almost distracting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. Do you guys have any of the ones that Rael of I think My Lucky Tarot or whatever did? Yeah. Because one of hers looks that way to me. In fact, I refer to it as the smutty Pam because it not only looks dirty, it looks like it's been in the gutter. You know, it's really, it's so dingy looking and nasty. It's like,
and borderless.
I go by these little excuse the expression, gypsy fortune teller windows. There's lots of them in my neighborhood in Greenwich Village. And you look at the decks that they're using, and it's all like, you know, they are so well handled. I don't even call them well loved. I mean, it's like tobacco fingers, you know, it's like just filthy overused cards. It's like, get yourself a new deck, you know. I mean, I realize they feel like they have a certain energy for using the same deck all the time, but they just get nasty over time, you know. So I don't know if you guys, I think that covers most of the issues I had with this deck, but you probably have encountered other details or maybe other notions about this or particular cards that you want to point out or look at.
It's actually been a really long time since I've pulled out the Dirty Pam or the Radiant Wise Spirit. I don't know why. It's just been working with other decks. So I'm kind of actually looking at it right now for the first time in forever and kind of just falling in love with it again. Like, I love these dark, moody tones. It's just so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I just got the mini today, so I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's actually not as tiny as I thought it was going to be, because I don't know if this is the actual size of the other mini decks that people put out. I actually am okay with the tin size, and I know this is smaller than that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's as small as a regular mini or not. But
I don't know if it's that much smaller than the tin.
I think it's like a quarter inch or half an inch or something.
But I like the tinned ones because they tend to be a little longer, so they're a little easier to shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? You might be right, because I was holding up my deck from Make Playing Cards, and that's actually bridge size. So that's bigger than a tin anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find a tin. Oh, no, I trimmed that one.
Brant, do you have one of the yellow or blue box minis to hand?
I do.
Oh, that little Travelers one? Damn, I'd love to get my hands on the Travelers Blushing Fool.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the one I had sitting next to me.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
My Traveler's Blushing Fool is just about the same as my Yellow Box Blushing Fool. I don't really notice any difference between the two. And Yellow Box was a damn sight cheaper.
Oh, there's a big difference. Look, here's the,
Mm-hmm.
this is the 10 versus the mini on the, oops.
Yeah. This is the US Games Mini versus the Los Scarabeo.
Mm.
Or I guess Ryder, AGM, really all the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely wider and longer.
I wonder if these are about the same as the pocket size. But I don't have a pocket deck, so.
I don't have a pocket either, but I feel like the pocket... Oh, wait. Do I? No. For a second, I thought I did. I have a knockoff that I think is probably pocket-sized that I just... It pains me to throw it away because I love the RWS, but it's not real, so... I mean, I guess it is real, but no, this is not really pocket-sized. I don't know. I don't have a pocket-sized deck, really, and I don't have...
When you say not real, you mean like counterfeit or something?
Yeah, it's definitely... I didn't realize that it was until it came in.
Don't you like to keep them
Oh, yeah.
anyway for a collection, just to so you have all the many variations? And
Yeah. So originally when I saw the back, and I thought it was literally just the front and the back was all that you could see. There was no pictures of the cards or anything. And so I thought, oh, that I could see that kind of being like a little promotional something or other. And then when it came in, it was like, I mean, very clearly not the right size.
did they bootleg it to the extent of keeping the U.S. Games copyright on it?
Probably.
Yes.
Wow. That's gutsy.
Yeah, they did.
Shameless.
It's actually I think me and Melissa worked out that it's a copy of the Belgium, one of the Belgium ones.
The reason we know is because of the font. The font at the bottom is different on the Belgian cards versus the ones that were printed later in Italy.
Yeah.
And then ones that were printed in Switzerland have Pamela Coleman Smith's signature at the bottom. Until you get to the most recent version, which was put out last year, and that has restored Pamela Coleman Smith's calligraphy at the bottom.
Oh, that was something I didn't mention. Now, the Pam, Dirty Pam, and the Radiant Wise, all of those don't have Pixie's font, right? They just have a regular.
They just have regular typeface.
Yeah.
Yeah, because none of these publishers can just make one deck that has everything.
True facts.
Yeah. Somebody needs to do a version to get it right. I mean, I got so many versions of this. I got the 1909 one, I think, that you did the walkthrough of, Melissa.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't happy with the coloring on that because the yellows are so pale. It's like the yellows are like that canary yellow as opposed to like sunshine or taxi cab yellow. I like the darker, richer yellow.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What do you guys think about the study deck? Do you guys have that one?
Yeah, I do. You don't.
I don't.
I got it, and I love it, except that it's dark. I mean, the images I found darker than other decks, but in general, I like it, and I love the crackle back, you know. And I love that there's no copyright on it.
That is great for sure. I know that the Roses and Lilies, which is what the original 1909 is based off of, it has brighter colors to it. So lighter yellows, lighter blues. It's just a brighter deck, but the ink wasn't as saturated. When they came out in 1910 with the Pam A, the saturation was a bit more dense, and a lot of the printing is a little bit darker. So even when you look at the actual images of Roses and Lilies and Pam A, you will see that difference in darkness. So
this live is a real nerd out for. I'm thinking about, oh, this is fun, but I'm wondering what other people are thinking of this if they're viewing it, or if they view it after the fact. They have to really love these decks to enjoy this live. It's going to bore the crap out of people that like Lightseers or those other decks, I think. Anyway, I think unless we have anything else to talk about these three decks, I'm going to jump into my little unboxing just to share with you this thing that came to the.
I did want to say one thing about the cardstock of the mini and the Dirty Pam. A few people have said it's the exact same cardstock. I don't feel that it is. The Dirty Pam is a very smooth finish, and when I kind of got them both, in my hands, the finish on the Dirty Pam is a lot smoother than the mini, and the flexibility is much different in both of them too. I mean, it's similar cardstock, but ultimately different.
You think?
Yeah, the mini is way more rigid. This is super flexible. Well, not super flexible. This is a lot more flexible. And,
Do you think it feels that way because it's smaller?
Possibly, but if I were to take this Tarosophy card and cut it to the same size as this, I think it would still be about the same.
Huh.
So, I mean, it's a difference of what, 5-ish years between the publications. Paper stocks change all the time. Paper makers change all the time. It's similar, very, very similar, but I wouldn't say it's the same at all. This has a much higher rigidity. That's my 2 cents on it.
Okay. I don't know if I already mentioned it. Have both of you seen the Smith Tiny deck?
Just Simon's walkthrough, and I think I fell asleep.
You didn't see it yet, Brant?
I heard Simon talking about it, and I saw him on his catch up and cards show it, but I didn't see the walkthrough yet.
Well, this guy from Thailand, I don't remember his name, but he did 4 or 5 different decks and sent them all to Simon, and he did a walkthrough of one each day of the week last week. And the first one I loved, the other ones not so much. But and I thought, do I really need another RWS?
Yeah, of course.
But actually during one of Jilly's sit-ins last week, she goes, this is going to be a light-hearted spread. Pull out a light, happy deck. And I thought, damn, I don't have any light, happy decks. All mine are dark and moody or serious. I don't go for the, rainbows and unicorns kind of fluffiness when it comes to decks. The cute factor so much. But anyway, I saw this, and it is cute, and it's also really a good representation of color and kind of copying Pixie's art. And it's from Thailand, and I think it's cost a fortune, because it was $38 shipping on a $40 deck. And I thought, and I'm probably going to is it going to come quick, or I'm going to be waiting weeks to months for it to show up? And it only took a week. So I actually feel like the $38 was a bargain if I could get it in a week from Thailand. I'm happy now. But I thought it was funny, the packing. For one deck, it comes in a big old chunky box like this. And I opened the box. I've already undone this. It was in bubble wrap. But it's funny. They cushioned it in between 2 styrofoam takeout food bowls.
I've done that stuff though, actually.
That actually works really well. I mean, it was bubble wrapped inside that, but I thought, even more protection. I'm all for that.
I actually use styrofoam containers like that all the time. I make Ukrainian Easter eggs because I'm that nerd. And when I ship them in styrofoam cups, and I fill up the cups with bubble wrap and the whole 9 yards, and it works great.
And it's in a what do you call it? Tuck box, which I hate tuck boxes. But there's actually room in the tuck box. They had a little foam rubber foam panel inside, which I think I already threw away. And you guys might like this. Oh, it's numbered. I have 167 of 1,000. It's signed by the author. And weirdly enough, the numbers, I thought, oh, did they hand write all the numbers and signatures? Well, it looks like he signed them all with a Sharpie, but the numbers, they're like little stickers that they put on. They must have had mass printed a 1,000 of these stickers with numbers on them. I guess that somebody hand stuck on every card for every box, but that's kind of interesting. But I love the backs of the cards. It's a nice, bright, cheery yellow, and the symbols from Pixie's art. And they redid I can't get the camera either. It's not focusing very well. You can see they kind of cutified the lion's face, but otherwise it's basic. This is kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon version of Pamela Coleman Smith.
Animaniacs.
And but it's fun. It's got a few cute extra cards. Now, some people are freaked out by the eyes because they're blacked out eyes, but they got these bonus cards. There's one of Pixie, portrait of Pixie. And then there's a portrait of Arthur Edward Waite. I like the little ribbon banners at the bottom telling you what they are.
Yeah.
And this one from Melissa, they have a little illustration of William Ryder and Son, the architectural building
that's cool.
of the company. So I thought, oh, those are neat, those 3 little bonus cards. Also, my next bugaboo is metallic red edging. I'm not really big into edging, but this is fine. It's kind of nice. It's sort of glitzy. My bugaboo is when people refer to it as gilding, because the definition of gilding is gold or gold leaf. It's not another metallic color. And when people say, oh, it's gold, and they say gold gilding, that's repetitive. It's gold, or it's gilded, or it's gilt edge, but it's not gold gilding. I go nuts. I climb the walls when people do that, and they say, "Oh, it's silver gilding." It's no, it's not. It's metallic. It's edged with red metal, or red metallic edging. It's not red metallic gilding. So anyway, that's my pet peeve.
I love it like that.
I do like the. I kind of like the. I mean, I don't have any other decks like this, so that's a novelty. But I could do without. I don't care about edging myself. But I'm not going to do a walkthrough here. But if there's any cards in particular in the deck you'd like me to show, just to see what they look like. I will show you the Fool. That one's odd because his eyes are closed, so you don't have those big blank black eyes. But
look at that little chunky boy.
But yeah, it's really pretty good and pretty cute. I mean, you got Pixie's art almost to a T, but it has a light, childlike, comical edge to it. And people were saying, oh, this would be a good learner deck for children, which, I don't care one way or the other. But, one thing I thought was weird, though, is a lot of the figures look like kids, but the nudie ones, like, they have genitals and breasts. So it's like little girls with breasts. That's not a way to go, I don't think. Let me see if I can find where's the lover's card. Or here's little boy with a full beard, I guess it's just the comic book character kind of thing, or cartoon character. But like here, look at the lovers.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, why did they do that? You
I wish
know,
that they would have just made the eyes white with the pupil.
You mean with no pupils?
No, just like make
like
it white.
regular.
Yeah, just like give us like a regular pupil instead of an only pupil.
Yeah, I'm
Those
trying to remember what comic strip from the Sunday Funnies this reminds me of. Maybe is it Nancy? Are any of you old enough to remember Nancy? I think she had Ernie Bushmiller had a comic strip called Nancy. I think she had eyes like that. So I don't know what their inspiration, the artist's inspiration was.
It is pretty cute though. I mean, like the deck is cute.
I mean, they look at that. I mean, they did a pretty amazing job. I just think, you know, I probably would go for other RWS decks when I do readings, but this one will bring a smile to my face when I drag it out and use it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very adorable.
I do kind of wish it had borders.
Yeah. Oh, I like the labels, though. I like those labels at the bottom.
Yeah, the labels are cute.
Like banners.
Mm-hmm.
They almost look like wood grain banners, though, instead of ribbons or something.
Essence 818 is asking if you got the expansion pack for that deck, Robin.
I didn't, because I don't know if you guys saw the expansion pack. It was like a majors only version, but it used Disney characters. And I don't want Disney characters in my Pixie artwork. You know, it had like, is it Jasmine or Mulan or something? I mean, it's like, and I think there might even have been an Olaf in there or something. I'm not that big on current Disney myself.
Neem says that the majors are more kid friendly, so they might be wearing clothes, so you wouldn't have to worry about your
yeah. Well, I think you could probably switch them out.
Yeah.
But then you'd have like part of it Disney and part of it not. So it's like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no.
Didn't mesh for me. But yeah, I think that's the only real issue I have with the deck is the way they handled the nudity on those cards. And I don't have an issue with nudity, but the characters just look so very childlike that it seems a little awkward to, you know, treat them that way. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm glad to have it.
Yeah, it's cute. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those FOMO things, since it's limited to 1,000, you know, I thought I better jump on it. So anyway, we've been a little over an hour, and I thank you guys for coming on. I didn't really intend to do this, but my enthusiasm over these new arrivals got the better of me.
I know how that is.
And I've been wanting to bitch about some of the details in those cards for a while. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to share that with you.
Of course.
What's going on with you guys before we close? Anything new on your end, either one of you, in terms of
terms of tarot or life?
And decks sought or bought, acquired, attained.
I got a new deck today.
What'd you get?
A vintage.
Go ahead. Sure.
Where is it? Let me reach over
You got an absolutely amazing deck.
It is. So this is a Thompson Lang from 1935.
Ooh.
I also have the Tarot Collectibles reprint, and it's not bad. But this vintage, it's really great. You can see like all the lithography.
I've been debating that deck. I almost ordered the reprint, and I think it was the wands that put me off because the arrangement is so weird in the wands suit. Mm-hmm. But I do like the vintage quality of the illustrations, and I like the coloring in those cards. You know, I can't remember what the backs look like.
They're just, marbled paper, basically.
Well, that's fine.
right?
Yeah.
It's a neat little hybrid deck. It's using a lot of stuff from RWS, but also some like French decks that aren't Marseille, but continental, I guess. I don't know the terminology because I'm so RWS.
They kind of remind me of old Prince Valiant comic
Yes,
strip. I don't know if
very
you
much
know
so.
those or not.
I don't know too much about comics, but I do remember me some Prince Valiant.
Well, it also kind of reminds me of that one Brant showed. What's the name of it? I want to say Ursa something. The what?
The Nap Hall.
The print quality looks a lot like the Nap Hall.
Very
The
much,
original one.
which is also very Prince Valiant-y.
No, I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of. It's, I mean, the illustration style. Arcanum something or Arcanus or it has a vintage look to it. Arcanum, something Arcanum, I think.
Hang on.
That was another one I almost got, but I think I could only find the German version on eBay. I forgot the name of it. But both of they're probably both illustrated around the same time. What do you know? What year the Thompson Ling?
1935.
35.
Mm-hmm.
If Brant can find it, I'm wondering if there's a date on that one, on his.
Well,
You can't find it?
no, it's not where it should be.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Someone's been rummaging through your drawers.
I don't know who.
Blame it on the cat.
If it was anybody, it was the cat. I don't know.
But you know the one I mean, right? Can you remember the name of it?
I think you're talking about I think it's called Arcus Arcanum.
Arcus Arcanum. That's the one. Yeah. It has a very similar look to it. Melissa, did you adjust to the depiction of those wands? Or do you have any issues with it?
I can't say that I've used either. Well, I did just get the vintage one, so I've not used it for divination at all. But I've had my Terra Collectibles reprint for quite some time, and I've read with it before, and I enjoy it. I'm trying to, how do I want to say, broaden my knowledge of the cards a little bit, and I am a reader who kind of like goes by images an awful lot. So it's been kind of nice to kind of like tiptoe into, you know, Marseille and some other styles that aren't quite so pictorial.
Yeah, are you guys into pip cards or not at all?
I kind of hate them,
Yeah.
but I'll learn to love them. Maybe.
I'm not into them, but I'm not into them.
Mindy keeps, you know, going on and on about Marseille, and
Yeah, Mindy is a pusher of Marseille. Mindy is like me and Melissa of Marseille.
Exactly.
Well, we have a study group on Saturday, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm getting a lot more used to it. I don't read the pips the way a lot of people do. I read. I kind of have an open reading approach, so we do 3-card spreads, and it's more like what I see in the plant, the flowers and plants and the cards and the directions of things, and whether positioning of the pips is open or closed, or, you know, things like that. So, and the elements of the cards and stuff, but I'm not really big on numerology.
Mindy, you're about to get sucked in. I mean, Melissa, you're about to get sucked in. Mindy heard you.
What? I was talking to my daughter, and I just heard Melissa say she's tiptoeing into Marseille.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I am. I don't think I'm ever going to like be a huge Marseille collector. I mean,
yeah, tiptoe, don't dive off the board. Like Mendy's dove off the diving board into the deep end of the pool.
Mhm. But I do very much enjoy my new choice Tarot de Marseille, and I think that I'm going to start to experiment more with Marseille style reading.
I only have one Marseille deck, so
The Spanish one?
yep.
Yeah, that's
I did-
cool. I
I
love it.
didn't embrace the new choice because I love the pips, but I'm not crazy about the imagery and the
In the majors and courts.
yeah. I think I generally don't relate to modern contemporary imagery.
Mm-hmm.
I like more arty old stuff. Like it's either like vintage or like classic art, kind of older things.
Mm-hmm.
I say now that I just showed you a comic strip deck, but for the most part, I like more. I don't like these contemporary renderings of, you know, if I can see it on my street or in my city or around me, the world around me, it's like I don't need the tarot. Then I want to be able to escape into tarot. I don't want it to reflect the world on my way to the grocery or out and about every day, you know. But then I don't read for other people either, so that's an issue for a lot of people to have wide representation in their decks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I will say that the Marseille Death I like better than the RWS Death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, Mindy. 1 point to you and your team. I do like the Death card better.
That's actually kind of why I like that Japanese Marseille weight like hybrid one, because it's got the Marseille Death, but it's so much RWS, and I
Well,
love.
J.K. Wade kind of does too.
Yes, the JK weight also has that kind of like Marseille lilt to it.
There's something about like a skeleton with a that thing. What's it called?
Scythe.
Yes. There's just something about that. It's just like so cool
Yeah.
and creepy and fun.
Yeah.
Body parts everywhere.
Yeah.
Which one do you have, Brent?
This is the Spanish tarot.
Oh, okay.
A vintage deck.
Fournier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just like it. So I think, to be honest, part of what throws me off with Marseille is that the colors are always so primary.
Yeah, little Fisher Price.
Yeah, they're like really like Little Tikes, like car colors, and this one, the Spanish tarot, I just really like the like they have these like really pretty like periwinkle colors and like
Mhm.
really nice blues, and then the cups are like this pretty purple, orange, blue sort of combination.
I got from the same company, the Fournier, not the Spanish one. This is the I think it's just called Le Tarot de Marseille. But I like the coloring better. This one's more like oranges and blues. But I don't like the pentacles in this deck. It's funny because I do like yellow green, but for some reason this is a kind of an icky, pukey
yeah.
green. I don't like this green and these pants, but otherwise I love the deck.
I will say, Robin, I typically don't like warm colors very much. Like I really can't stand the color red. But you have the Crystal Fire Carol Herzer deck.
Yeah.
And I am sort of on the fence and think I like it better than the original.
Oh, let's see it.
Let me grab it. Oops.
Brant, when you were showing your Spanish deck, I realized that those colors are very much like your hoi polloi.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's why.
Oh, speaking of the hoi polloi, remind me of that in a minute.
Okay.
This one, I'm trying to think now which one this is. I guess I can tell by looking at them. I think I switched the bags around. She sends you a bag.
Oh my God. Mindy is requesting several different versions of the Marseille for you to show.
Oh my goodness.
This is just a kind of a polyester bag, but it's a nice design. But
I kind of like it.
But this one, this is the best bag I ever got. I don't know. Carol Herser sent me this, and I don't think this is typical. She sends a different bag every time. This one's like satin brocade, orange with like wheat embroidered wheat on it. Oh my God, it's luscious. So it's my favorite bag of any bag I have. But
she kicked her family out because the Tarot de Marseille decks just came out.
What's that? Oh, I think the problem, Brant, with the fire one. I mean, this is the illuminated, and it's got a little sharper detail, and the fire one has brighter oranges in it, but it's not quite as sharp in the line work.
Did she fully repaint the?
Yeah, I don't know how she did it. I'm thinking she didn't retrace the lines. I'm thinking she printed out Pixie's line work and then painted over it. I'm thinking, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know her process. But that's beautiful. But I don't really like orange and blue together, and there's a lot of that combination in this deck. So I love the hot, warm colors. And this also comes in a bordered version, Brant. I mean, she has so many options. I first saw it on Masha's channel, and she had the bordered one, but I went with the unbordered. But I mean, and they're nice, but they are highly glossy because they're like, machine laminated and everything. But anyway, I don't know if there's a card you want to see from this fire one or not. I guess you've seen them all.
Ooh, that's trippy.
Yeah. Oh, you have one of them, don't you, Melissa? But maybe not the.
Grant gave me one for Christmas, and I've been using it like it's been on my bedside table. It's been my daily reader ever since. It's really a lot.
Is it the regular illuminated one?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I think I pointed out in your walkthrough that we have different bonus cards. You got two of the same card, but they were different than the ones I had. She sent me
suns.
Which one?
She gave me 2 suns.
She gave me 2 worlds, and I don't know if I can show you the difference up close. I like them, and I can't decide.
I know
I can't decide which one I like. It's hard to deal with the glossy card.
I wonder why.
This one, she's got a band with rainbows kind of stripes going across. And then this one, the band is rainbow stripes going down the whole length of the scarf.
That one sort of gives me Italian flag vibes.
And this one has a kind of more of a yellow greeny wreath. And this one is like a darker green.
I wonder why there are multiples of all the cards. Like, I wonder how she picked which one went in the deck.
Yeah.
She left a comment on my video where I showed the deck, and I think she mentioned something along the lines of, she just changed them out as mood struck.
Yeah.
So she just has like a few different versions of a few different cards, and she just kind of prints and pulls those at random.
I don't know. She's kind of quirky. She's an artist. She likes to play with lots of different variations. In fact, if you go to her webpage, I think she has probably 8 or 10 different variations on the illuminated deck. Simon has one that's like a wintry one or something. It's got a lot more blues. And I picked the fire one because I like those bright hot oranges and yellows, but unfortunately there's also a lot of blues to counterbalance it, and I'm not big on the blue orange combo. I feel the same way about red and green. There's just certain weird combinations I don't like.
While you got decks out, Robin, Mindy has asked for the Gasman or the Robbledoy. What is that?
Robledo.
Oh, Robledo, yeah, okay.
I don't have my glasses on. It's far, far away the screen. I can't see anything.
Okay. Well, I could show you. This is the Gassman. It's in like a really hard, chunky box. And I liked it because it's got kind of big googly eyes. And you know, I kind of like big, I like googly
I really
eyes.
like that green.
And the cards are more narrow. Oh, for Brant, I'll pull the death card.
See?
Yeah,
So much fun.
It's hard to be a big skeleton.
Yeah, you can't.
But this one's, it's kind of nice, the color. Oh, this one I like particularly. I think it switched a couple cards out. I think, I'm trying to remember if this is the one that has the switched out the Papess and the Pope with Juno and Jupiter. Yeah. No, it's got the Papess. Maybe it's the Hanged Man. It's different. If I can find them.
Now, the Juno Jupiter ones were only from the regions of like super Catholic Italy, right? Because they didn't like the implication of a female pope.
I think they're Swiss, but I'm not sure why.
Mindy, if you're still here.
I think it's called Besançon.
I was literally about to say that and then say, Mindy, am I correct? Is that what it is?
Here's the hairy leg devil in the
Yeah, his legs look like mine.
Gassman. And then oh, I know. I got this one because I love the chubby cup. This looks like one of those gelatin molds to me.
Yeah.
I love you know, like those fancy Jello things that Mom used to make in like a big old copper mold, and they came out looking all weird. It's like so bulbous. Oh, that one, that card, and then this Hanged Man, I both liked in this deck. I'm sorry, these are not showing very well.
I really like the colors in that one.
They're very pretty.
So I haven't used it much lately because the other deck I got was due to Mendy, this Robledo, and this has, in my opinion, the best line work and the best coloring of any of the Marseille decks that I've ever seen. The box design isn't spectacular, but it's a nice hard box. It's practically like wood, but the colors and line work is just if you can see, the detail in the line work is so good, and the shading is really good.
Those are very attractive.
And it's got all the colors. The blues are like this sort of shaded pale blue, and they're not on white cardstock. It's sort of this beige kind of antique cardstock.
That fool kind of creeps me out because it looks like his skin is getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Of his leg.
Yeah.
Well, this one's not as bad as some. The Noble has his nuts and nuggets and bits hanging out of the back of his pants, which I can't bear to look at in a deck. And I'm not squeamish, but I don't want to see it in my cards, you know. So I won't get the Noble.
Oh, this is Mindy's all-time favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, this is favorite?
She has an artier version too. She has this version, but she also has one from Cartogram that's on like fancy schmancy paper, you know, like handmade, and I think it cost you $300 or $400. You know, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, here's the devil in this one.
Fun.
I didn't mean to turn this into a Marseille thing. We were doing this for Mindy. This was meant to be about the radiant wise spirit. The backs are nice, though. It's like pretty, you know, I like a good old-fashioned standard back design, you know.
I love clean patterns.
It took me forever I always hated that blue plaid on the backs of the RWS. But now that I've got the Blushing Fool, I've gotten used to it.
Yeah. I have hated the plaid backs for I can't even tell you how long, but now having like got a whole bunch of vintage decks, like it's family, it's familiar. I've come to appreciate.
Older ones are better though.
Yes, yeah. There's this period of time, like, well, honestly, the current ones are just flat out trippy. But there's a period of time in Belgium, like an issue or two, where the spacing gets whiter, so the backs look whiter because you can see more of the white come through. That's an interesting moment in the plaid back.
I'm pretty partial to the crackleback design. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not thrilled with the pink university one with the ankh on it. I don't know.
Ruined me.
You love that one? Yeah.
No, I just really like the university deck.
Yeah, it's not a favorite back. Yeah, out of the three, the crackleback is my choice. I can't remember. Are there more than 3 variations? Oh, I know what I was going to say.
The Roses and Lilies.
You mentioned the hoi polloi earlier. I don't have the hoi polloi, but I got these decks on. Do you guys know Paris de Bono?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch. He's from
Studio?
Australia, and he's got a whole bunch of decks on, I think, Printer Studio. And I've been wanting black and white RWS, and he had one. So I went and I got it. And I actually like it. It's sort of, look, it's not even showing. It's like sort of bridge size cards, which I like. I'm very comfortable with playing card size.
So it's the
images.
line of Chloe, basically.
And it's somebody, when I posted my walkthrough, I didn't know, and they go, "Oh, that's the hoi polloi." And so I then looked at a walkthrough of hoi polloi, and yeah, it's the same artwork that he ripped off or whatever. So guess he just stripped out the color. But I like it. It's a little weird though. The lines, the black and white line work is a little washed out, kind of like done on a black and white Xerox machine where the toner's half run out. Mm-hmm. And at first I thought, oh, that's kind of shoddy. But now I think it's kind of a stylistic choice. It's kind of has a kind of a ghosting effect, which I actually don't mind so much. Then he had another one that I got, and this one I got, I liked it online, but now that I have it in person, I'm not as crazy about it.
Photographed beautifully.
I thought, oh, this reminds me of the Golden Rider, which I never was able to get hold of. And I really love that background. The sky is that kind of Golden Rider sky color.
Yeah.
But some of the colors in these and line work didn't quite come out the same way in person as it looks on screen or online. Mm-hmm. But I do love this card size to deal with as opposed to the tarot size cards. I know you guys like bigger cards, but I don't even buy Oracle decks anymore because I can't bear the oversized cards. So, yeah, I can work with these. Oh, and then there's this guy. I think there may be questionable opinions about him on playing cards. Ted Veach, do you guys know him, or have we had discussions about him? I think there may be some controversy or something. I don't know. He saw my little white Paris de Bono deck, and I said, "Oh, I've been looking for a black and white line art RWS." He goes, "I got one for you. I can, make you a copy available through, privately through MPC." So I said, "Yeah, I'd love to have it." So I bought it, and I love it. And I said, "Well, if I do a walkthrough on this, other people are going to want this deck." He goes, "That's okay, but I'm not doing them." So he's not making them available to anybody. He just doesn't want the hassle of, selling and distributing and all that stuff.
Even though playing cards literally does all of that for you, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. But I'm thrilled to have these. I'm actually appreciating Pixie's artwork more with the line art and everything without the colors. So yeah, I'm happy to have it. And he did and this is another, I never liked the Roses and Lilies back, but I kind of like it in this sort of beigey, gray brown kind of color.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's that. I've gone on enough tangents, I guess, for one night. So now we've been on, oh my goodness, we've been on an hour and a half. I should let you guys go. I don't know if you've eaten or what you've done. Or not done.
I'm on teacher time, so this is about the time I start winding down. So thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I was looking on YouTube. I thought, isn't there anybody doing a live today? And I had given up my lives like a couple weeks ago. I had them scheduled for the first and third Mondays of every month.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into kind of a rut, like, oh, I scheduled it and I'm not in the mood to do it, or I don't have anything new to present. I don't want to do this, And Chris was co-hosting with me, and he's like stretched pretty thin these days with all his activities. So he said, I don't know if I want to keep doing the co-hosting thing, which is fine, So I thought, well, that's a really good excuse for me to like reconsider what I want to do with these lives. So I thought, all right, I'm not going to do any more scheduled lives at that time. I'm just going to do them when I have something that I feel like I'm excited to share, and I'll do like Brant does, just jump on in the middle of whenever, and if you catch me, you do, and if you don't,
Yeah.
I do sort of. There are other people doing that too, and it kind of bugs me because I don't get notifications, and I'm usually napping, and the computer shut down, and I miss it. I need like at least like an 8-hour heads up, if not the day before or something. But not everybody's into that.
Just short.
I am the least punctual person on the planet, and I'm also really last minute most of the time. So that's the story with that, is that most of the time when I go live, I've only thought about going live like 2 hours before I do.
That's great. I'm hoping you'll do more cooking and tarot ones like you did. I like that when we see you make a meal. Are you still doing meals for that family that you
I am, and I picked up a second family, so I'm cooking 2 families now.
And you're back at work or in the restaurant or not now, or where are you at?
Not currently.
Oh, okay, that's in flux a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's good you got the 2 families at least.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks like we may all be getting a stimulus check for what it's worth in a couple weeks.
I'm excited.
They're like bitching over that money. It's only $1,400. I'm thinking, damn, that's like 1 or 2 months rent for some people. It's like
it's almost 3 months rent for
been
me.
a whole year. So it's like, what are they bitching about? It should be a lot more than that, but whatever. All right. I'm going to let you go. It looks like most of our chat room, except Mendy, I think she just ran. I need to run. Thank you for your deviation into Marseille. Loving seeing you guys. Now that we're done with Marseille, she's done with us. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. This was fun. And I look forward to seeing you again in one of your chats or lives.
That's fun. Thanks for having me.
Melissa, hang on a minute. I want to talk to you about your Dirty Pam. Bye, folks. See you all soon.
Did Robin end this?
Well, I think he left I think he clicked leave studio instead of end live. So I think we're still live.
Oh my gosh. How do we end the live?
I don't think we can. I think he has to because he started it.
You can't see. I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong
Oh.
button. I clicked end broadcast. No,
You
I clicked leave
I think.
studio.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't end the broadcast yet.
No.